Hello and welcome everyone to the newest segment of the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast where I, Cameron Fath, am going to take you through some recent military news and give you guys my honest opinion. Now, you know what they say, opinions are just like assholes. Everybody's got one. But I recently had Taco Bell. So let's waste no time. Let's dive in. This is the Debrief. For our first piece of military news, the U.S. military has officially decided to ground its entire fleet of V-22 Osprey helicopters. Now, unfortunately, this decision came due to the recent loss of life of 8 U.S. Air Force special operators, and our hearts here at the PCFM podcast go out to their families. This is nothing but tragic. This is probably the best decision that the U.S. military has made since religious beard exemptions. Now, here's a quote from the Military Times, and it is just... I don't even know why the Osprey has been allowed to fly since it came in. I've personally ridden in one. Everybody I know who has, and if you yourself have ridden in an Osprey, you know for a fact that these things are absolute death traps. But this is what the Military Times has to say. The Osprey is still a relatively young aircraft in the military's fleet. The Ospreys only became operational in 2007 after decades of testing. But more than 50 troops have died either flight testing the Ospreys or conducting training flights in the aircraft, including 20 deaths in 4 crashes over the past 20 months. Those numbers are absolutely absurd, right? I have no idea why we've continued to use an aircraft that has time and time again produced nothing but havoc. Like I said, I've ridden in this helicopter. It is absolutely nothing but a death trap, and I am so glad that these are finally done with. Bring back A-10s, and let's move forward, and let's prepare for the next war. Moving right along to our next piece of military news. There is an article in the Army Times labeled, "Why are some troops considering their military service a dating app red flag?" We actually going to talk about this? We going to talk about this? Absolutely. Dating apps in the military are literally, I don't know why these things are so popular, right? Young privates sit in their barracks rooms just swiping left and right all day long, looking for women, and because their drill sergeant or drill instructor lied to them, I'm sorry to pull the band-aid off, kids, but your drill instructor and drill sergeants lied to you. Chicks do not dig guys in the military. And I'll tell you why, because young girls on dating apps, right, when they hear or read the words military service member, all they can think is overworked, underpaid, possible alcoholic, toxic traits, etc., etc., etc. And for most of you listening, that's probably absolutely correct, but we all know there is those unicorn individuals that are just stand-up American citizens. But I'll tell you what, those guys aren't on dating apps, are they? So just be very careful out there, folks. If, let it get to the 3rd date before you break the news that you're in the military. Maybe label yourself as something else. There's an inside joke, right? That every time you go out to the bars and you meet a woman, you don't tell her you're ever in the military. You make up another story. Oh, I'm a race car driver. I'm a plumber. And if you're a Navy SEAL, you're a dolphin trainer. Every single job has been discussed, right? But if you want some advice from me, if you're setting up your dating profile, instead of posting pictures of yourself in military uniform, that shit's tacky, man. Try these instead. 1, post your picture of you with an animal. You'll get sympathy points if the animal is missing a leg or two, but you have to make sure this is a cute animal, right? Because chicks dig dudes that love animals. Next one, post a picture of you doing something adventurous outside. Not in uniform, not in the field, don't even do it. Maybe going hiking, mountain climbing. If that's not your jazz, pick it up because that shit's cool. And chicks dig guys that are adventurous. And now the next one, post a picture of you in a social setting, preferably with friends, and make sure they're actually your friends because that lady might want to meet these people. Bonus points if you make sure those friends are much uglier than you and they make you look great. So try those instead of posting pictures of yourself in the military, right? But I think the moral of the story is stay off dating apps, go meet people in actual real life, right? Because if you find girls on dating apps and she's super interested into you because of your job, congratulations, you just found a dependa. Or if she's super old, she probably has a lot of problems if she's on a dating app. So let's move on to our final piece of news here. The long-awaited Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks collaboration, their third partnership in their series of World War II. We had the Pacific, absolute banger. We had Band of Brothers, absolute banger. If you don't know the Pacific or Band of Brothers, you're probably Stolen Valor, and you'll get what's coming to you. So if you haven't watched those, go and watch those. If you are a military supporter or in the military yourself, they're absolute game changers. So Masters of Air is based on 2007 book by Donald L. Miller, and it is the chronicles and the journey of the 100th bomb group known as the Bloody 100th as they took the fight to Hitler's doorstep in World War II. This series has been so long awaited. Everything that Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks have produced that has to do with World War II has been absolutely phenomenal, and I know COVID really put a shit in the birthday cake on this one since it was supposed to come out way sooner, but now we finally have our first look into this absolute possible masterpiece, and from what the trailer's shown, this looks absolute epic. We have dogfights, we have dramatic scenes, we have beautiful cinematography. Everything that we saw in Band of Brothers in the Pacific looks like it's going to be in Masters of Air. So 2024 January, it seems to be the release, and I know I'm anticipating it, and I hope you are too. So find it on Apple TV. Well, this is going to wrap it up for this week's episode of The Debrief. Folks, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you let us know by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, getting down in the comment section, letting us know what you thought of today's episode. We're going to bring these out every single week, so we'll see you guys next week on the newest edition of The Debrief.